people don't like to be controlled by one player in the game, or maybe like 10 player in the game, which is like the central bank, Warren Buffett, or the ultra rich who have huge sway in the market. They rather their money be taken from their neighbor, right? I think that's sort of the philosophical idea, right? If I'm gonna lose $1,000, I'd rather give it to like my neighbor who came over and stole it, instead of like Warren Buffett. I'll lose it in the market to Warren Buffett. I think that was the idea, I guess.
I think
right?
I wouldn't say there's a
don't
there's a
represent
psychological
everybody, but I guess
aspect to it, because you think Warren Buffett's incredibly rich. That's why you don't want to give this $1,000
Yeah.
to him. So because that $1,000 would become worthless essentially, and
Yeah.
rather you would want to decide who you want to give it to. I
Yeah.
want to give it to a poor dude next
Yes.
to you.
Your neighbor, and then
your
now the
neighbor,
market,
not-
maybe
not
there's
market.
he spends
But
it.
there
and
is,
there's
I never thought
simulations.
about this.
But there's a
Actually.
legitimate psychological aspect to it. Why would you not want to lose to the rich, but you don't mind losing to the poor?
Yeah,
I guess.
You see what I mean? Like I'm not sure if there's actual value in this, but I think there's at least an interesting philosophical underlying, that people would rather lose to people like us, or people like each other, peers, than to say a central government. Let's say a new announcement comes out, the market drops 10%.
Also,
off,
why
just
why
off,
are
like,
we
100K or something.
why are we framing this as a zero sum game? If I lose, the government wins, or if I win, the government loses.
It's I mean,
It's not a
why
gamble.
why is the market not a zero sum game? Someone has to buy and sell. I'm gonna buy if I think it's gonna make me
because
money.
different people have different incentives.
But at the end of the
Why
day,
if I loan you money, for example,
Yeah.
you charge 2% interest. I loan him $100.
Yeah.
You charge 2% interest. I need the money now, and you get a $2 back, two additional dollars back in 1 year time. We both win.
yeah,
right?
but yeah, we both win but
Because we
what
have
if-
different incentives.
That's correct. But what if you don't pay me back?
Well, I mean, that's you're breaking the rules of the game now.
Yeah,
There
but
will be legal consequences with when
okay,
you default
okay.
rate.
So let's say the incentives for retailers are to not lose money on the market, right?
Mhm.
And the investors like Robinhood
Mhm.
would be like, I want to make money from my platform.
Because you're
They'll
thinking
take in the money from the retailers, and then wow, great, we have Citadel here who makes tons of money for me. Why don't I give them all my shitty deals to them, and now they make a lot of money, and the retailers lose.
By the way, speaking of Citadel, a lot of people they use Robinhood
Yeah.
to fuck up GME.
Yeah.
They're saying, oh, we don't want to screw up the big hedge funds, but essentially, think about where all the trades from Robinhood gets routed to Citadel.
Yeah, but the Citadel will think,
And that's a
a bunch
bread
of
and butter.
stupid people are
Yeah.
shorting GME, are buying GME. They're so stupid, right? They would think that, and suddenly like, whoa, hold up, and then the price goes up, and they're like, crap.
No,
Right?
I think just to answer the question, why is this not a zero sum game? Is because different people have different incentives, and you're looking at a very single dimensional way where everyone cares about just the return. But there's the return, there's also the risks, there's also
Okay.
time maturity, as in some people need the money now, some people need it in 10 years' time. So I don't mind taking a bit of a discount if I can get my money back now.
Right.
Some people say, "Oh, I'm not paying my mortgage. I don't have any educational debt to pay off, so I can afford to keep my money in the stock market in 10 years for a better return." Some people want liquidity, so different people have different wants.
Okay.
I
And
don't want to cut you short. You lost me starting from the mention of zero sum game. So everything afterwards, Robin Hood.
zero sum game
Yeah,
means
explain to me.
Okay, I remember. Okay, I remember like reading or not hearing about this term from when I watched Arrival. I remember that was a term that mentioned in the movie, and afterwards I was just like blanking out. So when you see the footage, I was just like, the fuck is that? So what is zero sum game?
zero sum game means a situation where
Someone
if
has
one
to lose.
loses, no,
Yeah,
someone has
so-
to. One loses, that means automatically implies the other guy wins.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If the other guy wins, implies the other person loses. So rock paper scissors, that's a zero sum game. There can only be one winner and one loser.
Ah,
But if we are doing something together, if we are
Yeah, so my point was that in a stock market, if I buy at $5 and then I sell at $7, I made $2, right?
and someone lost.
Someone
$2.
bought at 5. Someone sold at 5 and then had to buy back at 7. It couldn't. It doesn't have to be the same.
Maybe they
person.
don't want to buy it back. Maybe I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's right. So it may be two different people. Someone actually bought it at 3 and then sold it to me 5 and then actually made $2 profit. Someone.
Because the
it's
money
gonna
has to
go
come
up.
from somewhere.
Yes.
So if you gain $2,
Yeah.
someone has to lose $2.
Yeah.
All right. That,
I mean,
that
it-
part I
it-
accept.
Maybe not really, right? I mean,
Not really.
it's sort of true in my sense that I think that like if someone moves the market, someone's gonna lose money. I think that's sort of my point. Is that if the institutes move the market in a direction that they seem correct, they're always gonna win.
Yeah, money doesn't just generate out of thin air, right? So if someone
I
is,
mean, tell that to the U.S. government.
they print it, yeah. But then if someone is, yeah, it makes sense to me, I guess. If-
Yeah, so like if let's say Citadel, right? They had a bad rep for GME. They're like, oh, let's just short this guy, right? So that's why they kept their stock prices low, of course, right? That's the whole point. Then GME is losing, the Citadel is winning, and then people were like, screw that, let's short squeeze them. Now that the people who hold GME are winning, Citadel's losing. That's sort of the simplified version. Of course, there's a lot of nuances. Lim just said, right? What if people were loaning money? Loaning money, I'm technically out of $100, and I'm only getting 2 back every year, right? But then the incentive of me losing 100 and getting 2 every year means that I achieve my purpose, and he also achieved his purpose of getting $100. It's not a zero sum in that way, but like
eventually he has to pay the 100 back.
Eventually,
Over
you got to
those
pay
$2.
the 100 back for
Yeah.
sure. But what I'm saying is because if I loan you money, okay,
Yeah.
I give you $100, and I say, hey Justin, next year you'll have to pay me $102 back. Okay, 102. So I charge $2 two percentage rate, and in his framework, in his mind, oh, you're losing because you're giving $2 in this jackass
yeah.
limb. Why
Yeah.
would you do that? Now, what if you could use that $100 to start your own restaurant, and generate a lot of return, generate $50 in return next year? Give me $2 back,
Yeah.
and you earn $48.
So from $100 you can get like 4 or 5, whatever, and then you gain 300. right?
Because
Yeah.
some people need money at different times. Okay, if you are starting off your family, you have a kid, you got to send his kid to school. You need money for that, and some people don't exactly. And what the financial market does is really distribute capital from people who has excess to people who are in need.
Right.